we watch him at? Calendar show.
Caged Aggression 22, live from Burlington, Iowa, and the Catfish Bend Resort and Casino continues. And making his way down to the octagon is Kurtis Ellis Jr., 5'10", 135 pounds, fighting out of Bloomington, Illinois, and he is an independent fighter. He enters the octagon tonight with a win-loss record of 6 wins and 11 losses.
I said this about him last time I commentated this guy's fights, man. His record does not speak anything to his ability and his talent, man. This dude is a very great fighter.
He's so active, man. He's ready to fight tomorrow night. You know what I mean? Like, literally. This dude he'll fight next week. He'll fight the week after. He'll fight tonight. He'll fight tomorrow night, man. The dude is with that. He's about that life. He reminds me of an old school. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing as an amateur. He reminds me of an amateur fighter from when I'm not going to say old school because I'm still new school to some guys, but he reminds me of an amateur fighter from guys back in my era, man. My first year, I fought 13, 14 times, man. You know what I mean? These guys fight 2, 3 times a year. 13, 14 times a year is what I was doing, and he's kind of on the same motion. He's willing to fight whenever, man. If the circuit and amateur level fights were more active, he'd be fighting more if he could. I'm sure of it.
Sad ass.
He had a dread mullet.
Now making his way to the Caged Aggression octagon is Brynn Heathcock, 5'9", 135 pounds, fighting out of Decatur, Illinois, and Skywalker Mixed Martial Arts. He enters the octagon tonight with a win-loss record of 5 wins versus 4 losses. I know Brynn was here last night for night 1 of this event, and I caught him afterwards after the show was over. And I don't think I've ever seen a guy more relaxed. He was just, he was just sitting outside chilling. Like, hey, I got to fight tomorrow, but yeah, I'm good. I'm ready.
He's with it too, man. I actually had a chance of watching him and on another promotion, him and I can't remember the kid's name. He's got good hands. He's an amateur 135 fighter. Fought for Mike a lot. Boxer. I believe they're supposed to fight, or he was supposed to fight Tay Everett. Him and Tay threw down and Pugna MMA in Waterloo, man, and those two were throwing bombs, literally, at one point in time, leaning on the cage, just bomb, 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 bomb. So he will throw that heat, man. He will. For him tonight, I need him to match Ellis's movement and sit down on his punches. So when Ellis starts taking flight to strike, I need him to sit down and land his punches direct. Because if Ellis moves around, keeps him at bay, he'll be able to control the pace of the fight, and Brynn won't do so well, but I'm excited, man. His hands he'll throw him, JD. He'll let him fly.
Yeah, this is one of the marquee matchups, analyzing the card ahead of time. You knew that this one was going to be a good one, so let's see if these guys can live up to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds for the Caged Aggression Amateur Bantamweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 136 pounds. He's sponsored by Astronaut Music Group, Reach Socks, Floyd Tree Services, and Outlaw Laboratory. Joining us from Bloomington Normal, Illinois, Kurtis Ellis! And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighed in at 134 pounds. He trains at Skywalker Mixed Martial Arts and is sponsored by Far West Martial Arts and Real Deal Tattoos. Joining us from Decatur, Illinois, he's your current Caged Aggression Amateur Bantamweight Champion, Brynn the Jedi Heathcock!
Kurtis Ellis fighting in the red corner. Brynn Heathcock in the blue corner. Your referee for tonight's action is Ben Wilson. Zach Mickelwright, Sean West, Jeremy J.D. Dorsey here tonight on commentary. Let's watch some fights.
I love how Kurtis' hands are always at bay like that, man. When you fight, when you do MMA, you know it's not boxing. Your hands have to go wider. Strikes, the distance between it's not boxing. You know what I mean? So the distance between the fighters, you don't trade as much as you might with boxing gloves. So I love his distance with his hands and his legs. He's just such a long fighter, man. Switching, look, he's great striking. But Brynn is about that life, man. And Brynn will throw these bombs with him.
Really love how big. Caught by Heathcock.
Yeah, and he ends up on top on side control. Staying close, chest to chest, not allowing Ellis to gain his guard back or even get one leg in at all. Staying really tight. He's doing a great job of that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got to win the fight, right? So strong in mobility. Take that away. Put him on his back. Can't kick off your back. Can't punch off your back. Well, not with as much power at least. So he's doing the right thing. He could slide that left leg up toward the armpit a little bit more and possibly put that knee on the belly to advance his position. But if he's just holding like this, the ref will stand him up. You know what I mean? So, and for Kurtis, I'd really like to see he's got the left underhook, but I'd really like to see the right underhook and turn those hips inside. Really try to get to his feet. But throws Brynn with some nice knees to the body. Kurtis is worried about stopping the knees, but what he needs to be worried about is trying to get that guard back or shrimping to get half guard.
Yeah, I feel as though there's some things that Ellis could be doing here from the bottom at least, but
yeah, he should be popping and trying to get that right underhook.
Definitely
On Brynn's left side, working to like a single leg and then trying to sweep. But he's content being on his back with his knee up high. I mean, you've got to understand that these short rounds with these amateur fights, you got 3 minutes. Now he's been on his back for almost a minute. He's got 20 seconds left, and he's losing this fight, and he's losing the fight easy. Brynn is winning this fight with zero effort right now. He's got a good knee on Bella, and he's trying to work to get them out. Kurtis is doing a good job keeping him from getting them out, but there, he just gets it now. I mean, see, you can win a round in amateur so quick just by getting good position and staying on top just like that.
You really can.
Those textbook first round win for Brynn Heathcock.
Yeah, those 3 minute rounds go by extremely fast. I really hope, you know, and because I'm an exciting fighter, it's how I function. I really hope Brynn's game plan. Granted, it could win him the fight, but I really hope his game plan isn't to mount or side control him and then just squeeze him to death and drop a couple of knees. I really hope he puts a show on for the fans. But you know, obviously you got to go out and get the win. But and I hope that the ref, for the fans' sake, doesn't just let him stay squeezing Kurtis Ellis and just laying there on top of him and not, you know, a couple knees every now and again isn't enough strikes for me to allow the fight to stay on the ground. So I really hope the ref gets them back to their feet, lets them put on a show for the fans, and makes the dominant guy, or in that case Brynn, put a little bit more effort into landing punches, strikes, or whatnot. You know, these guys paid a lot of money for the tickets, and I really like to see them make them bang.
here we go with round 2 in this fight, which is scheduled for 5 rounds between Kurtis Ellis and Brynn Heathcock.
Kurtis really needs to keep his distance. Right? If he knows what the game plan is right now, he learned the bread and butter. What's his game plan? There it is, right there, right? So he really needs to keep distance. Create the space right here. Try to set those kicks up, man. But Brynn is with it, man. He's game.
Good body kick there from Ellis. Little lull lull in the fight here. Just not a whole lot going on. These guys are really trying to test the waters here and feel each other out, but this is the second round. You know, I know you got 5 rounds to make this happen, but the second round, you guys should be well on your way.
Oh, big left, great left. And that's what Kurtis Ellis does, man. His explosion, he closes distance great. He needs to keep that distance, though, because Brynn wants to stay close and keep him from allowing his power to build up. Kurtis has to really set up his movement and land that big strike. Good burst to get inside, you know what I mean?
You hear Ellis's corner telling him, jab in, and he is definitely the longer, lankier fighter. He should be doing exactly that.
I'd say so. I'd say
he's got his chin way up in there when he comes in, though, and that's gonna be a problem.
And he's such great, he's very good at switching. And if you're good at switching, guys, and a guy goes right-handed, then switch southpaw. You know what I mean? Because it's more effective. Because right now he's right-handed with the right-handed, so it's kind of null and void. But what I need him to do is if he went southpaw and set that up, maybe a right hook, and then stepped in, closed the distance with that left straight. Since he seems to be switching, and he's okay with it. That'd be more of an effective strike.
Coming up on 30 seconds left in this matchup between Brynn Heathcock in the red torque shorts and Kurtis Ellis in the white slip shorts.
Ooh, low shot from Ellis. That was definitely low. I heard all plastic there.
Probably hurt his foot. Opposite corners, fellas. Opposite corners.
Looks like Heathcock is ready to go. We're going to get things started.
And we're back at it. Now, if this keeps happening, the ref could possibly take a point. So Kurtis has really got to be on his P's and Q's and keep his kicks either low or high.
Been switching with him. I like that. I like that knowledge. A good left hook. That left hook landed.
And that's the end of round 2.
Difficult round to judge, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm a little surprised that Heathcock isn't opening up a little bit more. It seems like Ellis is willing to exchange and willing to trade, but you kind of got to have 2 to tango.
Yeah, I mean, both of these guys, they're kind of soft on pulling the trigger. It seems like they really, really want to. You know, they're biting down on their mouthpiece and they're clenching their fists really hard, but you know, they're just not. They're not pulling the trigger like they should. And like I've seen them before. I mean, I've seen both of these guys in fights where they are super comfortable, super active.
Yeah, very aggressive.
Yeah, and this fight, you know, a lot goes into this fight as well. You know, that both these guys are trying to win that title because that means a whole lot to them, you know, which is understandable. But you're not going to win a fight by standing there and biting down on your mouthpiece and looking tough. This isn't a staring contest. You know what I mean? These guys got to get in there and punch each other in the face, try to rip each other's limbs off or choke each other to sleep. They got to look for the finish. This isn't a fight on points. It shouldn't be. Fighting to a decision is a last resort, and these fighters have to know that.
So here we go with the start of round 3 in this matchup between Kurtis Ellis and Brynn Heathcock here at Caged Aggression 22.
Good hook misses for Ellis, but he was able to throw a little flurry afterwards. Kurtis keeps switching stances, and that's giving Brynn different looks, you know, and it can really confuse somebody. So it's working, but he's got to use it to his advantage and get active. Nice spinning back kick there.
And it looks like when Ellis switches his stance, Brynn also switches his. So Ellis is kind of dictating the fight when you do something like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Both these guys are faking with kicks. And they're really pulling their punches, man. They need to get going. They need to get active. Switch kick attempt. He kind of pulled. He's shaking his head, but I want to see a counter. I don't want to see.
Yeah, he's not
I
returning.
don't want to
with
see him
anything.
shaking his head. You shouldn't have time to shake your head and showboat and stuff like that. Start doing that when you start winning rounds decisively. Good leg kick there. Good left hook from Kurtis Ellis. But he's got to follow that up. If he lands hard like that, he gets him off balance. He could throw a couple more punches and sting him. Both these guys are switching stances. He says, ooh, yeah, must have caught him with a good one. Kind of a little tie up here. He shoots in and he's trying to pull guard, and Brynn's kind of keeping him in that front headlock position so he can't pull guard. And he gets him side control. And, you know, I think Brynn won the first round in this very position, so he can look to catch an easy W in this third round here just by keeping him here. He's got good pressure on his chin with his forearm. He just lost it, but and Kurtis, he's not getting to one hip. He's not trying to dig an underhook and get to a single leg. He's really got to do something here in these positions because that could have just sealed that round for him. And as he gets up, he bangs his hand on the cage floor, and in anger, you know, he knows that could have cost him.
Yep, you can see Heathcock sort of shaking his head and saying, yeah, like, you know, I did that. But, I mean, I haven't really seen enough for either of these guys to be talking and shaking heads and, you know, doing as much as they're doing. I mean, we've like I said, or like you said, Zach, we've seen both of these guys be in high level, you know, a lot of striking, very active fights. So it's kind of surprising to see them going at such a slow and measured pace at this point.
Yeah, it's starting to become frustrating. You know, this fight is becoming a little lackluster. Hopefully in these next two championship rounds, they get going.
You know, at the end of the day, you know, you got to win the fans. And despite a win, you know, there's a lot of people who can win a fight but aren't going to get signed because it isn't exciting. And as an amateur, you got to win the fans and test yourself. And being at bay, you're not going to learn too much, you know, and staying away and not be willing to throw hands or to make contact, you know what I mean? So I'd like to see them just,
or like you said before, or just get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Just get in there and bite down on your mouthpiece and throw some punches.
And
take some licks and see how you take them.
Sometimes that's how you land that punch, you know what I mean? I'm always game for taking one to give two.
Oh yeah, or taking three to give one.
You know what I mean? Because that one's going to add up.
Yeah,
And
and my one's going to land harder than theirs.
You know what I mean? That's the truth, bro. You know it. I mean, just the way it is, man. But his movement's great. Kurtis's movement's great. I really like to see him go southpaw, but Brynn's doing a great job switching.
Both guys seem to be turning it up just a little bit now, but
Ooh, good couple punches from Ellis there.
You see how he closed that distance? You know, the technique wasn't there, but he closed that distance, and that's the special thing about Ellis, man. If he could literally set that up and have a striking coach to get him to understand when to throw certain things. Got the skills, man. You know, just got to do it at the right time. Everything is situational. And great kick by Brynn. Knees, you know what I mean? Knees.
Diving in and finally close the distance here. He's got to use it, throw some good body shots or work for a takedown. And Brynn gets off the cage here.
under 1 minute left in this 4th round, scheduled for 5 between Kurtis Ellis and Brynn Heathcock here at Cage Aggression 22.
Nice.
Ooh, good couple punches, good combos there.
And like you said, Zach, right there, just, you know what I mean, throwing those combos and staying right there, earning it. You earn that real estate, stay there, you know what I mean? And, oh, there goes Brent with his combos. Oh, is Brent split, or is that?
Looks like he split a little bit on his cheek there, on his right cheek.
See if Kurtis senses that blood.
He should. I know he sees it.
Go to work, go to work.
Good counter. You know, he moved out of the way of that kick and fired back, but gotta land, gotta throw a couple more than just 2.
You really do, you really do. But right there though, brief instance of how fast he can tag and move and tag again, man.
So when you see blood on your opponent, does that give you any sort of motivation? Is
Yes.
it something that you just ignore, or just does it really help?
Kind of remind you that he's human.
Well, yeah, and
Me
it
too.
shows that, hey, you know, I got him. You know, I tagged you first, buddy.
You're bleeding and I'm not. You know what I mean? That's always a good feeling.
Hopefully something like that will give Ellis a little bit more confidence and maybe throw those hands a little bit more coming up in this final round. I mean, there's a belt on the line the last time I checked, and it'd be nice if these guys decided to turn it up and really get things going for this 5th and final round.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to see it.
Yeah, you got to get out there and earn it, man. You really do.
Ellis is putting the pressure on here, but you know he's got to pull the trigger. And he just did here, and that was a good combo. You know, so far he's ahead in this 5th round, but I'd really like to see him open up a little more. Both these guys are got to be a little bit tired. Neither of them quite as sharp as they were when this fight started.
And when Ellis does open up, he has been effective. So
Yeah,
you would
for
hope
sure.
that he would go back to that well a few more times in this last round.
It seems like Brynn is having a really difficult time opening up. I think it probably has a lot to do with Ellis's length, and that was a good set of jabs right there from Ellis. And that's gonna put Heathcock on his heels, you know, and make him apprehensive to throw more punches and you know, let his hands go, because he's got great combos, but he cannot seem to pull the trigger here. You know, I like a checkers game in a fight. You know, just get in there and duke it out. You know, just a good old-fashioned ass whooping. But these guys really, I mean, if you really think about it, you know, we've been talking about how slow this fight is, and you know, picking shots and this, that, and the other. But this is really, I mean, this is a perfect prime example of a chess match in an MMA fight. Like, these guys are picking their shots and waiting for the right time to strike. You know, maybe it's just the old-fashioned fighter in me that wants to see them get in here and get dirty.
You know what it is, man. We love to get dirty. We want these fans, you know what I mean? Ultimately, we want these fans to win.
Seems like Ellis is really starting to impose his will in this fight, and especially in this 5th round. He's putting on the pressure, getting Brynn backing up. He's winning the exchanges. He's winning the tie-ups.
Got him
Seems to
bleeding.
be throwing him around.
Got him bleeding. That bridge of that nose is pretty busted up. I like that Ellis is still active too. You know what I mean? Like, look at him. He's playing a role in there. He's talking. He's, you know what I mean? He's moving. He's entertaining, man. And if his coach can get him to understand.
Ooh, good shot landed by Brynn, but man, he's got to follow that up. Ooh, another good hook.
Yeah. 10 seconds. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Good combo from Ellis. Slip. Woo! Great fight, guys. Yeah, they really, like we said, they turned it up in those championship rounds. That 5th round was really good. I'd like to see the first 3 rounds go like that.
Right.
I really honestly feel like these guys could fight 3 more rounds. And that's a problem, you know. We were talking about whether in Josh Neal's fight, we were talking
Empty the gas tank.
empty the gas tank. And you know what? These guys, I still think they have more in their gas tank.
Definitely. Got to leave it all in the cage.
Yeah. If you don't got your hands on your knees or on top of your head after the fight, you didn't do enough.
No, you
in
didn't.
my opinion, you know. No matter how great a shape in, you should use 99.9% of your gas tank in that fight.
Yeah, and you can see in these replays, really Ellis being able to take advantage at the very end of this fight.
Yeah, good. See a
Landing a lot
good
of
combo
shots here.
there with the slip.
Heathcock got a nice jab at the very end of there too, and I mean, man, wish he would have opened up a little bit earlier in the fight, but it was nice to see him land there towards the tail end.
Yeah, sometimes Kurtis was coming in with his hands down, you know, and that allowed Heathcock to land a couple good left hooks. But, you know, it didn't affect him, and Heathcock didn't follow up on it. You know, if he doubled that hook up or threw a hook in a straight right, he could have landed something and been devastating, but he wasn't pulling the trigger tonight. I just don't think tonight was Heathcock's night.
And you know what? Sometimes the entertainment factor, the excitement, the talking will win the judges too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he hurt? Oh, he's not even hurt. He's still responding. He's still acting. He's still moving. He's not getting hit.
Perfect example, Crazy Carl Whitstock last night. I thought he was dead about 4 different times. Literally dead.
Crazy
I
Carl.
think Carl might have thought he was dead a few times too.
He might still think that.
I tell you what,
I'd like to try to talk to him tonight.
I have. He's actually in great spirits, man.
Yeah, I talked to him last night. He was saying that he had he
headache?
didn't realize that he got knocked down 4 times. And I was like, yeah, that's probably a sign that you got knocked down 4 times.
4. I was gonna say 7, but
Yeah, I think it was more than 4.
yeah, man. I mean,
Excellent fight, though.
hey, stood up every time, didn't he?
Yeah.
Except for the last. But yeah, these guys, man, they got out and earned it. You know me, man. I pay attention. I pay attention to 135. You know, I'm a 35er, man. So I pay
Ladies and
attention.
gentlemen,
I pay
we go to
attention.
your judges' scorecard for this decision. Our judges scored this contest 48, 47, 49, 46, and 49, 46, declaring your winner by unanimous decision and new Cage Aggression Amateur Bantamweight Champion, Kurtis Ellis.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
All right, folks, I'm here with your winner and new Cage Aggression Amateur Bantamweight Champion, Kurtis Ellis. Kurtis, man, it was a long, somewhat overdue path getting to this titleship match tonight. How does it feel finally getting that win that you were looking for a few months back?
Hey, it feels pretty good, man. I finally got the chance to, showcase my skills and fight for the belt. And I came here, on top.
Now, you've put your impressive striking displays on skill in the Caged Aggression cage a few times already. Was there anything in this matchup with Brynn that surprised you? Anything that you weren't expecting as far as this particular matchup goes?
He did everything I expected. He was looking to stand and bang, which I like. I wish I could have let my hands go a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I think I could have finished it, but I had little things going on within the fight, So I had to reserve and fight smart.
Well, don't be so hard on yourself. You know how it is when two people with great striking, such as you and Brynn, get in the cage together. You know how that goes sometimes. But not taking away from the performance from you or Brynn, was there anything that you wanted to add to this or anything like that before I let you get to the celebration?
I just want to thank all the fans who came not only to support me, but to support the show overall. And also want to thank my 2 corners, everybody who cornered me, as well as my sponsors, Reach Socks, Astronaut Music Group, Floyd Tree Services, and also Allo Laboratories. And last but not least, I want to thank the promoter, Mike, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time, loud and proud, for your new Caged Aggression Amateur Bantamweight Champion, Kurtis Ellis.